Pierre.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm here in Brighton today with lovely Pierre.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely day.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
You always come here when the weather's terrible.
Well, when is it not?
Well,
It's rare, you know. Not always, but I think it's you got a good chance of hitting some rain if you come into England.
that's very true. So how's this tour going? Because you're with Bowling for Soup at the moment.
Yeah, it's been great. The tour's all sold out. Some big shows. Last night we played at Brixton, and it's been great. The fans have been awesome. The show's been fun. These guys are, we're old friends, so it's super easy. And yeah, been loving it.
Is there less pressure on you guys as a support rather than?
Absolutely. Yeah, we haven't supported in about 10 years.
I know, it's been a long
And
time.
I love it. I would rather be a support act.
Yeah.
Yeah, less pressure.
Yeah.
And shorter set. You get to play only hits.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Get out. I love it.
Perfect. So one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, because obviously I've spoken to you numerous occasions, so I've covered most grounds with you guys. But what I wanted to talk about is your foundation that you do, because that's been running for a very, very long time. You do loads of stuff with that. What's the thing you're most proud of that you've achieved with the foundation?
I think to me it's when I realized the kind of things that we were accomplishing with it. At first it was kind of like, oh, this would be cool, raise some money and do some good. But then every year we did an event and we'd meet people who we've donated to the previous years, and they'd come by and talk about what the money did and how much it meant to them. And because we usually help a lot of small organizations, instead of being like, oh, we're giving to Greenpeace or something that which is also very important.
Yeah.
For us, we've raised and donated over $3 million, I think. So it's a big amount, but it's not that big, So when we separate it, we'd rather give, consistently $10,000 or $25,000 to one organization and help them on a yearly basis, and try to make a difference. So seeing the people come back, whether it's the kids that have been enjoying the donations at a youth center or something, or from a hospital. To see those people come back and talk about, like, oh my God, we were able to keep our doors open because of this money, or we were able to get a new room dedicated to entertainment for kids because of this money. So it's been very gratifying and a very incredible experience for us to be able to just do something that's more than just play music.
It's good. It's a good way to give back, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you do your tours yourself, some of the money from the tickets and merch and stuff goes.
$1 of every ticket we sell always goes to the foundation. We also raise a bunch of money doing different events, and also some of our fans have helped us out and done their own events and hand us checks, which is mind blowing. Yeah, it's
that
mind
is
blowing.
amazing. So going back to sort of helping people, when I was doing this interview, I posted a little status in a Simple Plan group. Any questions does anybody have? And the amount of messages I had in my inbox.
When's the new album?
Well, that was one of them, but it was more people wanted to tell me their stories about how your music's got them through things like suicide, self-harm, addiction, depression. I've never heard that as much than I do with your fans. So what do you think it is about you guys that kind of sort of speaks to those?
I think it's the songs. I think that I've always been a songwriter that enjoys classic melodies and sort of like a message that's pretty obvious. Not obvious, but a message that is pretty clear. I think a lot of bands sometimes write songs that you're like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah. But for us, it's usually pretty clear. And I also feel like music for me has always been a nice tool when I'm struggling with something. So I feel like our best songs have been written about things that when life isn't going so well. Yeah. And I think that when you write about that, a lot of times people that are going through similar situations will find that sort of common ground and feel like, holy shit, I'm not the only person there. Yeah. That's a big thing when you're going through a struggle, whether it's depression or addiction or whatever it is. You always feel like you're alone. You feel like, I can't believe like no one else is dealing with what I'm dealing right now. And to know that someone else out there is feeling those emotions with you, I think alleviates a lot of pressure and makes you feel like, okay, I can go through this knowing that I'm not the only one going through this. Yeah. And that, I think, is probably the biggest reason why our music has kind of served its purpose as a tool for people, to help them with their own struggles.
Because I was quite surprised as well, because a lot of the people that messaged me were quite young, so possibly not even born when your first album came out. So
most likely,
is it quite? Are you noticing that a lot, that you're sort of bringing in these sort of younger fans as well at the moment, that the music that you've written is kind of standing the test of time and it's all being rediscovered again, right?
Well, I think what's cool about it is that the fact that it's stood the test of time is great, but I think that one of the reasons why it's standing the test of time is because in the late 90s and the early 2000s, this sort of pop punk style kind of really was, top of the charts and really doing well, and a big style that a lot of people embraced and a lot of bands started. Blink-182, Green Day, Good Charlotte, Sum 41, Fall Out Boy, all those bands, Newfound Glory, ourselves, MXPX. All of those bands, I mean, that's when they started. That's when this whole music became what it is. And I think that because of the evolution of music, there's not really any bands anymore, or very, very few, that are coming out and creating this style of music. And so, if you like that style, you kind of have to go back in those years and be like, it's kind of like, it's become an era, It's the same as the early punk years. If you like early punk music, you got to go back and go find it. You may find a band here and there that may emulate those bands, but if you want to find the essence of it, you have to go back and do it. Same with the Beatles, same with the Rolling Stones, or anything like that. So I think that it's interesting now, if someone grows up and feels like, hey, I listen to a Green Day record and I love this, I want to get more of this, they kind of have to go back, and that's maybe how they land on us, or maybe they just land on our songs to begin with, But it's really cool to see younger people come to our shows and be into it. I think it gives us a sense of feeling relevant and feeling like, we're it was more than just a fad,
Which is great, because obviously you have the older ones like me that same age as you, but then you get all these younger ones, and it's nice because it means you can keep going.
Yeah.
Which is great. Speaking of which, as you mentioned, most of my questions, album, how's it going?
It's going great. Right? Almost done. Yeah, we have a few mixes to go, but it's been a long process. It always is. It's funny because we started writing. We banged out a few songs. I would say early 2019. And we felt like, okay, we got this, let's go record, and just the recording process took a while. And then we always want to push ourselves to make sure our records are, because there's so much time between our records, we haven't put out 19, 20 records, we've only put out, this will be our 6th. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make sure it's great, and that takes time. To some people it doesn't, but to us, I feel like we want it to be great, and there's schedules, and we're going to record this over the course of this period. Oh, we have a tour lined up. Oh, damn it, and it takes much more time. And now we're in the process of figuring out how we're going to release it, when, what's the deal, we're doing all at once, or we're doing a few songs, so.
Yeah, that was one of the questions. When is the album out? And soon is not an acceptable answer, is what I was told.
It'll be out. I would be shocked if it's not out before the summer.
Perfect. So what can we expect from it? Is there one particular song that you're really looking forward to?
Can you cut through?
You can cut through, that's fine.
Get a towel for Jeff.
Your towel.
Is there one song on the album that you're most looking forward to, giving to us?
I think that's the important thing about this record, is that it's all the songs, and that's why it takes so long to make, because I just think there's maybe one in particular that maybe I feel like our fans, I know for sure will like, but that doesn't, sometimes that feels like a little safe, it feels like, oh, this is too much in the box,
Yeah.
But I feel like as a whole, it's interesting because as a band we've always kind of struggled with, but I think every band struggles with, like, what the fuck do we do now?
Yeah.
And there's been some highs and lows and some different things, and it's that eternal question of, like, how do we stay true to who we are, but yet not feel like it's stagnant, and how do we not upset our fans, but yet keep them excited? And I find that that's the biggest challenge as a band. I look at, bands that have been around for a long time, that put out records, and it's so often, they change a little too much, and then so often they don't change enough, and it's like, and it seems so obvious as a fan when you listen to a song, you're like, that doesn't feel like Simple Plan. It's like, what the fuck does, And I know what does, but
of course you do.
if we gave the same, if I just wrote another, song that sounds like our first album, then we'd be criticized for sounding like the first album too much, Or not really, but it would be like, oh yeah, been there, done that.
You need the sound, don't you? But not, like, say exactly the same sort of
but
stuff.
I think that
difficult.
It's super hard, and I think that now we've, found the right balance of putting the importance on, or embracing the fact of what we sound like. I think that a lot of times we're musicians, we enjoy music, we listen to different things, and we get excited about doing things that are like, holy shit, Billie Eilish sounds fucking cool. Let's do something like that.
She's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, and even if we did something like that, that would be amazing. It would never be embraced because we can't.
No.
And it's a bummer.
Yeah.
But that's being an artist, and I think that's not being an artist. That's actually not true, but that's being a band.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with a lot of great things, and it comes with a lot of downsides. And the downsides, and it's not a downside because if I want to make a country record, I just got to do it on another name.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to do a country Simple Plan song. There's no point.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
That's me.
But so I think that now we're narrowing down how far we can stretch, and it's always a gamble. You know, I think on the last record we put a song called "I Don't Want to Go to Bed" that was really not well received in a lot of ways. I think it's a great song. I love it. I think it's got a cool energy to it. It's got a
great video as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But even like, you know, so, and I think that it's very, it can be scary as a band to put out something like that and to see the fury of people out there, and it's like, Jesus Christ, it's just fucking music. Like, you know, if you don't like it, skip to the next one.
That's exactly it.
But, you know, I get it. People feel an attachment to a band, and you know, I listen to other bands that sometimes do those changes, and I get frustrated by them too. So I have to understand that, you know. But I think that now people in society is a little more open to people being different, and are a little more tolerant of whatever things are happening around us. So hopefully that'll change the optics. But I think that as a band, give them what they want, you know. And if I want to do something different, then I'll just do my own project.
Is there any collaborations on it?
Not yet.
No.
I don't know this person.
Okay, that's fair enough. There is actually a fan who asked me a really good question to do with the writing. Her name's Daniela. She's from Mexico. She wants to know, when you write, do you actually write things down, or do you kind of remember it or record it into your phone?
All of it.
All of it, everything.
All of it. Sometimes you just remember it. Most of the time, obviously, if we're doing words, we're writing everything down. Music, I'll sometimes record. Jeepers. Music, sometimes I'll record on my phone, voice memo, melodies, stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes down to writing the song, we're definitely pen and paper. But not the music.
No.
I don't write the music down. That's remembered and recorded.
I thought that was a great question. I need to ask you from a personal point of view. Epcot, you play that every year now. How amazing is it?
It's cool.
Is it so cool?
Yeah.
You're going to keep carrying on doing that, do you know?
They told us that we can do it as long as we want.
Can't afford it.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Absolutely.
But there must be some packages.
I sell Disney holidays. It's a job, so I get it.
Oh, there you go.
But I just need to book it when you're there.
There you go.
Yeah, fabulous. What is your favourite album at the moment that you're listening to?
I would say, I don't know what it's called, but it's the band Camino.
Okay.
I think so.
Cool.
I like that.
Valentine's Day was yesterday. What's the most romantic thing that you've done?
There's a lot of them. I don't know.
What do you reckon your wife would say?
She would say I'm not very romantic. But I think it's more of a daily thing, you know. I try to help out a lot. I'm not. Yeah, my wife and I are not really into Valentine's Day. We're not really, and I think it's because it just seems like such a marketing thing. And even though we all mention it, you know, I think it's like, it's an interesting little holiday. You know, I think it's just a way to upcharge for roses and stuff. And so we don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I try to, you know, I've given flowers on a random day, which is way cooler, which I haven't done in a while. But yeah, I think that's the most romantic thing I've done was probably ask for her hand in marriage.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Can you agree with
That's
that?
the top of the list of what you can do, right?
I think so.
Drop down on one knee.
Yeah. Didn't even do that, did you? It just gives me the ring.
You want to do this? You want to do this?
Yeah, just give me the ring, didn't say anything. Right, I have some questions from fans. So I have one from a mutual friend of ours, actually. And he would like to know, who has been your favourite UK-based support act with bottom in their name?
The bottom line.
Yeah. That was from Matt, he asked me that. So, would you ever do a sort of stripped back acoustic? So remember you did the Camden takeover a couple of years ago, you did the acoustic thing. Do you think you'd ever do anything like that again?
We could. I would do it. It's just the issue is that traveling, our fans are so widespread, you know. Traveling somewhere is so costly that to come out here and do an acoustic thing, it's going to attract only a few hundred people. And unfortunately, the reality of being in a band and being a touring band is money.
Money, of course it is.
Like all of our realities, you know, people have jobs, you have a job, you've got a job, you know, this is my job. And if I'm going to go and take my band to South America or Japan, we're not going to do an acoustic set in a little cafe. You know, we're going to play the biggest show we can possibly play so that we can make this worthwhile and then make it and the more it's worthwhile, the more we come back.
Of course it is.
You know, and you know we all have wives and kids at home, and the intimate thing seems really cool, but unless it was around my house,
Locally,
like it wouldn't make much sense.
So that'd be something quite cool you maybe do think about doing locally, but not global.
I mean, maybe. I'm not, you know, never saying never,
Never
but
say never.
yeah.
That's fine. There's
I think that people would rather see us if you had the choice.
Yeah.
You've seen us a lot.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen us before, you'd be like, nah, I want to see the whole fucking band.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to say, out of all of the bands I've seen, you guys are absolutely by far my favourite to watch live.
Thank you.
I kind of go through every single emotion when I come and see you, and it's just awesome. I love it. That's why I keep coming back. There's a guy called Mikhail, I think his name is, from Stockholm, who wanted to know who wrote The Lucky One and what the story was behind it.
I'm trying to remember. That song was written a long time ago.
It must be quite hard to try and put yourself back.
I think a lot of times we try to gather, you know, emotions and stories from our lives and then try to sum it up.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I'm going to talk about this one thing, it's going to be super personal. I'm going to talk about like how I felt during that moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was written about sort of, you know, how many times you feel like you look out to other people and you're like, oh man, wish I had that. Or I wish I'd, you know, whether it's love or whether it's something or success or looks or whatever, you know, it's like, maybe one day that'll be me, you know. And that was kind of the idea behind it, and turned out great.
It's a great song.
Yeah, thank you.
All the songs are great. Is there another tour coming? Are you coming back over?
For sure.
Perfect.
New album will trigger an entire world tour again.
When it's nice and cold. Like
Yes.
it always is when
Yep. Unfortunately, it's very
It's the time
the
though,
best time
isn't
of
it?
tour is
Yeah.
the cold season
Yeah.
because that's when that's when there's less big festivals, you know.
Because you did Download. Was that last
Yeah.
year or the year before?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it's the one thing I've missed, which was a shame. Isn't it?
We did Slam Dunk last summer.
Yeah, I had a wedding that day.
That'll do it.
I know, not my wedding, but yeah. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Pierre, for chatting to us today. It's lovely to see you.
Awesome.
Looking forward to tonight. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Cool.